The War of the Realms is upon us, and it's a story that has spent 5 years in development. With seeds planted across multiple runs of comics based around Thor, Loki, and other Asgardians, the war has finally made it to Midgard, and our heroes need to fight back. Let's take a look back and see how we made it here. What's up, everybody? I'm Stan, and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. In this weekly one-shot, we are going historical and taking a look at the events that set the War of the Realms in motion. Jason Aaron is the architect of this massive universe-spanning event, but unlike some kind of haphazardly thrown together events, it has been a plot thread weaving its way through more than half a decade worth of stories. With that in mind, let's start at the beginning. Jason Aaron started things off with Thor God of Thunder, which launched in 2013, but the single action that set the War of the Realms in motion was an escape. A group of dark elves made their way into Niffleheim, the land of the dead, and into one of the worst prisons in all the realms, to free Malekith, their former ruler and the greatest sorcerer among the dark elves. What followed was the Accursed storyline, which followed Malekith across the Nine Realms as he hunted down all the Dark Elves he could find, leaving piles of bodies in his wake. To counter this, Thor attempts to head out to destroy Malekith himself, but is stopped by the acting All-Mother, Lady Freya, before he can do so. This marks another big moment in Aaron's early run on Thor, with the introduction of the League of the Realms, which assembles members from the Light Elves, the Dwarves, Giants, Trolls, and even Lady Waziria of the Dark Elves. Each of these characters will appear at different points in the lead up to the War of the Realms and are a good indicator that Malekith is involved in one way or another. During the Accursed storyline, Malekith hunts down the fractured pieces of the Dark Elf race, finally confronting the Tribal Council, but instead of fighting against him as the League of the Realms does, the Dark Elves elect him as their king, since they respect only the most brutal and feared rulers. As a result, a new age of brutality has fallen upon the realm of Svartalfheim, and one of the nine has fallen under control of Malekith already. Beyond that, when we close out Thor God of Thunder issue 17, Malekith is seen forming an alliance with the Frost Giants as they march into Muspelheim, the home of the Queen of Cinders, and hints at an alliance as well as war are being dropped all over the place. Aaron then sidetracks for a bit, writing the original Sin storyline that introduces us to the 10th realm of heaven, where his sister Angela was raised by the Queen of the Angels. During this time, he also becomes unworthy of Mjolnir. This leaves Malekith to work in the shadows, and we don't see any additional information on the War of the Realms until it's actually called out by name in Thor God of Thunder number 25. The Goddesses of Thunder, granddaughters of old King Thor, are looking for a story and stumble upon a tome labeled War of the Realms, with an ominous description. The war that made the world tree burn, from tip to root, the war that would ultimately lay waste to ... Cut off by an ominous rumble of thunder in the distance, the goddesses settle on another book, Bound by Chains, which ultimately gives us a glimpse at the Thor series that would follow, starring Jane Foster as She Who Holds the Hammer. The single panel gives us a glimpse of the Minotaur, Loki, the King of Trolls, Enchantress, Guardian of the Shi'ar Empire, and the Mangog, who would all play prominent roles in the next 2 years' worth of stories. When the next series picks up, a new Thor has grasped the handle of Mjolnir, but more chaos is happening across the realms as a group of frost giants lays waste to a rock sign facility that has discovered the lost king of Laufey, king of the frost giants. Of course, given what we know, this has to be orchestrated by Malekith, and the resurrection of Laufey is one of the key points in the War of the Realms, but Thor is still up for the challenge despite being without his hammer. Riding in on his favorite space goat, he battles with Malekith before one of the more famous events in Aaron's run takes place. Malekith cuts off the Odin son's left arm with his own axe. Over the next few issues, we see the Minotaur make his appearance in the form of Dario Agger, the head of Roxxon Corporation, who aligns himself with Malekith in the pursuit of more profits across all the realms. We also find Thor with his new Uru metal arm, trying to take back his hammer from the mighty Thor that now wields it. Then, as things start to get interesting, the run is cut short by the events of Secret Wars, which derail the story for several months, but bring us a fun journey into the world of multiple Thors while in Battleworld. Upon a return to the main continuity, the mighty Thor number 1 wastes no time reminding us that the War of the Realms is real and is causing casualties as the body of a light elf smashes into the window of a Roxxon space station with the statement, "So begins the War of the Realms," carved across his chest. The barrage of bodies actually punctures the hull of the space station, causing it to break apart in orbit, serving as more than just a shot across the bow and instead a formal declaration of war. Mighty Thor number 1 also has other interesting moments in the War of the Realms, showcasing the alliance between Malekith, Ulik, the King of the Trolls, the Queen of the Cinders, as well as the freshly resurrected Laufey and his legions of frost giants. However, one additional ally steps out of the dark, and we find Loki by their side, as untrusted as he may be. As the events of Mighty Thor unfold, more key events take place in the background. The Queen of Alfheim, realm of the Light Elves, agrees to marry Malekith under duress and the influence of the Enchantress in order to protect her people and maintain peace, but Malekith isn't here for peace and immediately imprisons her. 2 realms are now under his control, with 3 at his beck and call, giving him control over half the realms. While he continues to make his moves in the background, Jane Foster discovers the secret origin of Mjolnir, we receive a history lesson from Loki, and she battles Guardian of the Shi'ar Empire as well as their gods before facing down the Phoenix Force itself. But during that time, important things happen. The role of Curse is transferred to a new host, and this time it is Lady Wizaria herself, a former member of the League of the Realms, who was serving the life sentence for Malekith in the pits of Niffleheim. Also, the ultimate judgment for all the gods is coming, as the Mangog is unleashed upon Asgard. This is where the story gets even more crazy, as Jason Aaron introduces the War Thor, an Asgardian who holds Ultimate Thor's hammer from the Thors and Unworthy Thor storyline, but as he and the Mighty Thor clash, actions unfold across the realms. Vanaheim, the realm of the gods, Niffleheim, the realm of the dead, and Heaven, the realm of the angels, all find themselves under attack as the Mangog makes his way towards Asgard. None will be left unscathed as these events unfold in Thor number 700 and the issues that follow. 2 real key pages are one from Mike Del Mundo, showing the map of Yggdrasil, the World Tree, and all the realms currently in play, and the other is the beautiful 2-page spread from Russell Dodderman that tells the future of the Mighty Thor storyline, which proceeds at a breakneck pace. Volstagg, the War Thor, picks up the hammer one last time to battle the Mangog on Old Asgard, but is ultimately crushed and left to drift in space, while the Mighty Thor is making her way across the realms, offering aid wherever it's needed. Vanaheim, Jotunheim, Alfheim, Niffleheim. There is only one corner of the 10 realms that appears to be untouched, and that is Midgard, because the Mangog has come calling on Asgard. The battle with the Mangog is epic, leading to the destruction of the Rainbow Bridge, as well as Asgardia, Mjolnir, and the death of Jane Foster before she's resurrected on the doorstep of Valhalla by Odin himself. But, with Jane fighting her cancer still, the realms still need a Thor, leading the Odin son back to the mantle, and a new series which kicked off in 2018. Without his trusted Mjolnir, Thor has commissioned Screwbeard to create as many hammers as possible while hunting down artifacts that may help in this War of the Realms. But with the Rainbow Bridge destroyed and Malekith in control of the Dark Bifrost, our heroes find themselves at a major disadvantage. The beautiful part of this story is that Malekith has waited to amass his forces and slowly conquered all the other realms before making his way to Midgard. With control of Svartalfheim, Alfheim, Jotunheim, and Muspelheim, Malekith has a distinct advantage, and he has already used his alliances to lay waste to Niflheim, Vanaheim, and Nidavellir. Plus, we also saw him on the doorstep with the Queen of the Angels inside Heaven during a previous issue. Asgard is a shadow of its previous self thanks to the Mangog, so only Midgard stands between him and dominance of the 10 realms. However, Earth is home to some of the greatest heroes in all of the Marvel Universe, so it won't be a war easily won. But I want to know what you guys think. Are you ready for a universe-spanning battle that brings hometown heroes like Spider-Man into the cosmic landscape? What kind of lasting impact will this have going forward? Hit me up in the comments down below and we can start that conversation. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to get more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books and more.